Hello everybody! Welcome back to another video, continuing our series about working at every single merchandise location in the Walt Disney World Resort. Today we're talking about EPCOT, and before we get started I wanted to mention something that I forgot in the other videos, but if you are living in the housing at Disney, in the Disney College program, I know now they have a new place, but at least the old place, EPCOT is the best one to work at if you don't have a car because it is the closest and has the most frequent buses. The next highest one would probably be like Disney Springs, but it's not a park, and I always think that working at a park is better than not working at a park. And then Hollywood Studios is not too far, but the buses are not very frequent, so it's a little tough. And then Magic Kingdom is pretty far, and then Animal Kingdom by far is the furthest and least amount of buses and worst one to work at, as well as the costuming is not convenient at all, whereas all the rest of them, the costuming is at the bus stop, so it's like not inconvenience. The Animal Kingdom one, you have to literally take a bus there to costuming and then wait for the next bus to come in to get to the park if you don't have a car. Anyways, that's just something that I wanted to bring up. So I loved working at EPCOT. Unfortunately though, EPCOT does not have that many places for DCP or even American cast members to work at, because again, EPCOT is amazing in that it's a multicultural park, and so a lot of the merchandise in all the countries are usually covered by foreign exchange cast members. We're gonna get right into this. So here's a map of EPCOT, and of course there's having some major changes coming up soon, but we're just gonna talk about what was open when I was there, which was in 2019. So we're starting out with the entrance. So this is Gateway Gifts / Camera Center, and this is going to be under Spaceship Earth on both sides. So on the left side is going to be Gateway Gifts, and on the right side is Camera Center, and we can see the interior of the Gateway Gifts here. So this has a lot of basic merchandise. Again, it's like a one-stop shop for entering and exiting the park. I believe there's also an Arrival Strollers assignment, as well as a Mickey's gift stop or gift station type of thing outside of the park that people can go to without purchasing a ticket, or before or after they enter the park. But this is really the main entrance store, and so this gets super busy at night. I worked 2 shifts here. It was one of the only 2 places that I worked more than once besides my home location, so I did like it. It was very nice. It's pretty moderately busy, but again, it's really busy at night. And the only thing that sucks is that it is open like later than the rest of the park, because again, it's the entrance, so they expect people to make their way down there. So sometimes it'll be really dead, but like you still have to stay there and you have to close up the shop and things like that. The break room is sort of nice. It's kind of small and out of the way, and it's a little bit hard to find if you've never been there. Definitely keep your Blue ID with you because you can get like locked out and all sorts of stuff, and yeah, it's a little bit tricky to get to if you've never been there from the backside one. The costume's pretty nice. I mean, I like the places that had shorts as an option, because you know, it's much easier to move around and it's not hot, and also pockets. Let's see, there's not really much of a theme, and that's it. Alright, now yeah, Arrival and Gift Shop. Like I was saying, these are just 2 other places that are outside of the park. I didn't work here, but I've heard that it's not fun. People say that the gift shop is really boring because you're just by yourself the whole time and nobody really comes there. So people say it's not fun, but that's all I know. And then Arrival Strollers is like kind of a different assignment, even though it's under merchandise, and you have to be in charge of strollers, which can be a pain in the neck, so I've heard. Alright, so then we have pin traders. So I don't think it looks like this anymore. I think it is just a outside cart now. But I think that all the pin trader shops are pretty fun. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's just like an outside cart now. This picture's a little bit outdated, but I didn't work here. I worked at the pin traders at Disney Springs, so stay tuned and I'll talk a little bit about that one when we get to it. Alright, then we have festivals. So festivals are just a reoccurring thing, so they happen for, I don't know, like 6 to 8 weeks every couple months. So if you're in the spring, you're going to have Festival of the Arts and Flower and Garden Festival, and if you're there in the fall, you're going to have Food and Wine, and then of course, like the different holiday events going on. And so you can be working pretty much anywhere, and then you can get deployed to the festivals. This is much more applicable for people who work in quick service, but there are a couple of merchandise locations. You get these cultural flag outfits, I've heard that they can be very busy. Some people don't like it because you have to adjust to it, but I don't know too much about working festivals since nobody I knew was working them. Then we have MouseGears. So this is another place that I worked twice, or actually maybe 3 times. No, I think just twice. And the first time I worked floor stock, and the second time I worked actually on register. And so it's a very big store, and all the like break room and stuff is like below it, so it's like in the tunnels and all that. So it's not the nicest because of course like you're in the basement for the break room. I didn't love it. It was very dark, kind of dangerous, a little scary, a little smelly, but you know. And it's decently okay to find. I mean, you have to like navigate around backstage to find it, so it's a little bit tough. When I went the first time, I was there from the onstage section, and then I asked a cast member to help me find my way around because I didn't know where to go, and I didn't want to just wander backstage in my plain clothes and like alarm people. The costume is okay, but it's long pants, which I don't love. Like they're not very comfortable. And then this like gear top. They have a large range of merchandise. It's pretty busy, especially at night when people come in for their last things of the day. They have a lot of festival merchandise, so I worked here when it was Flower and Garden Festival, and we had a lot of like the Minnie Mouse merchandise and stuff like that. Registers is pretty busy, which is nice, but they do only have like a couple songs, like I don't know, 3 or 4 that they play in a loop, which is not the best. Like definitely you pay attention a lot to the type of music these places play. Most of them have a loop of maybe like 3 to 10 songs, and some are more annoying than others. So this one, the room I was in, it was a little bit irritating, but you know, it's fine. That's what happens when you work for 7 hours. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about MouseGears. I don't think so, but it's it's just like any other big box store. They all just like have a lot of merchandise, a lot of people. Basically, the big box stores is that you have a lot to do, and then you don't really get to talk to the other cast members, or the small ones you don't have that much to do, and then you can sometimes make a better connection with your fellow cast members, but it depends again on who's working the shift with you. Alright, so moving on to Future World East. So this is going to be a rotation of soon-to-be Guardians of the Galaxy, the Mission Space little store, and the Test Track little store. So it's again a rotation. You have some different costumes for different ones, so you'd only work one store per day and you just rotate them. I know a lot of people like the Future World rotations because it's always something fresh and exciting. The merchandise is very specific to that attraction, so the spaceship one, Mission Space one is all space stuff, Test Track one's all car and Test Track stuff. But I don't know that much about it. We're moving on to Future World West. I think this one is probably a little bit more fun. So you have the Seas with Nemo and Friends over at like 11. You have the little Soarin shop in the land. You have the Imagination Pavilion, and then you have Club Cool, which is no longer there, but I think they're gonna bring something like that back. So I only worked at Club Cool, which started out really horrible because I was just on mop duty and I was very like having a bad day, but it was like very disheartening to just for like 2 hours just get like mop the floor until this time, and then you go back and get your new assignment. It's like mop the floor, and you're like, I just mopped it. And so like I was like, I don't even know how to like mop the floor. I don't work here normally. So it was a little bit like frustrating, and the leader was not that nice about it. As well as the break room is really far away and not that convenient to get to. But then once I actually got to work on register on the slushy side and do slushies and that stuff, that's really fun. So I really like doing slushies, and then I also helped close out the shop, so there's a lot of cleanup to do. So that part is not the funnest, but if you have a good day, then you can get a free slushie sometimes if your leader's being, you know, feeling generous. And then again we have Imagination with Figment, and so that has a lot of Figment merchandise. We have the Nemo one, which has a lot of Nemo merchandise, and then I've heard that the Land Soarin one is pretty small, and so it's not really that busy and not much to do because it's usually just like one person. Whereas all these other stores have like a couple people, so it's probably pretty fun, and then you make, you know, friends with whoever you're on rotation with. Alright, moving along, we have the Port of Entry, which is over here, like 12 and 13. So these are just like the Port of Entry and World Traveler, those stores. World Traveler is up by the other entrance of the park, which is up by France, the international gateway between France and the UK up there. But anyways, so these stores are just again like general merchandise stores, and they get some traffic because they're kind of the first stop or last stop before you get to all the cultural different things at each place. But that's all I know about those ones. We also have Art of Disney. I'm not sure if DCP cast members get assigned to this, but they have more like fancy art and things like that, and I think it has some special training to learn about that. Alright, so then we have the American Adventure slash Outpost or Village Traders rotation, and so this is one assignment, but you only do one per day, obviously. So I worked in American Adventure, but I really want to work Outpost too because this was a really fun shift. So America, this is one of my top shifts. The costume's really cute, the break room's really, really nice, and it's like just for pretty much like the few countries that are around. And it's pretty new, everything's really nice in there. It's pretty chill, not that many people come by. It has a lot of American merchandise. The only thing is you do have to get alcohol trained because they do sell beer. And then you get to also possibly run KidCot, which I did for the second half of my shift, which is like the best thing ever. You just get to interact with kids and draw and, you know, stamp their books and things like that. There's not that many people who work here at one time. It's probably like 3 or 4 people. So you can get really close to them if they're nice. And then we have Village Traders, which is, I think, pretty similar vibe. It's the same, you know, like people, but different people on different days. And so the only thing is I don't know if it has the same break room. I don't think so. And I don't know like what their backstage area is like, as well as I don't know if it's like AC or not. But there's Village Traders. And that's it for EPCOT. So like I said, this is a pretty short one because there's not that many locations for American cast members to work at, and I don't know anything about the other countries' stuff. But if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to talk to you about it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!